and Pierce.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back, everyone. I know it has been a bit of an extended period since our last show, but we are back.
It's been a month. When you do a fortnightly show, if you skip one day, it becomes a month.
Yeah, I know. I was on holidays, which is why we couldn't do our last show. I might have some stories from my holidays later on in the show, because I did quite a few interesting things.
I've heard a couple of things.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I didn't actually do anything on my holidays. I was literally at home all by myself. Yeah. I've got stories of some things that I did by myself.
Yes, the time Pierce cooked the perfect baked beans on toast.
Well, I actually hate baked beans. I burnt toast.
Pierce, the baked beans is like the quintessential teenager Home Alone item. Food item.
Doesn't taste good, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. You know, if you have something that you need to keep in your pantry for a long, sustained period of time...
Yeah, well,
baked beans are perfect.
Well, here's the thing. When I realised, since I was by myself, I realised something quite frightening, is that I'm not good at being by myself. And with us reaching the end of our schooling and having to move out quite soon, I'm pretty screwed.
It's alright, Pierce. I know personally I'll be stocking up on the baked beans, so you can always come and borrow from me. The thing I'm not a fan of is that canned spaghetti. I've never liked it, and I probably never will.
I don't like the taste of the tomato sauce that they put with both of those things.
It's the spaghetti, I think, is way too sweet, and it's just way too fake tasting.
I guess so.
But I've never minded the beans. You know, if they're there, I might eat them.
They increase your gas.
Yep. Well, yeah, they do, but you got to weigh that out and decide if it's worth it.
It's not worth it. They taste terrible, and they make you fart more. So.
Well, enough of that. Not much
Something else that we've had to do is checking in's become mandatory.
Checking in, yeah, of course.
And with that, there's a lot of people that are complaining about it. Yeah. You know what? I think people that complain about checking in are people that are worried about people. They're hiding something.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
Yeah, something a bit sus.
They don't want the government to know where they've been.
Yeah, I imagine someone like Sylvester Stallone sneakily visiting a toy shop or something like that.
Yes, and that's where we'll give out the message here to make sure to check into places. It's safe, it's easy, it's quick. It takes like 2 seconds now. They've really streamlined it.
It's keeping everyone safe. Yeah. Hey, I saw someone complaining about it on the Stanthorpe group chat, on the Stanthorpe Facebook, and scattered throughout there were complaints about people, that are actually complaining about it. Yeah. And then there was just one guy replying to everyone saying, tinfoil hats.
Tinfoil hats.
So a safe joke throughout that. Hey, what did Pierce steal from Ned's room? Ned's on occurrence.
We've got it all coming up in this show and more. But first, what song have we got up
Huey
right now,
Lewis, Power of Love here on Rose City FM 89.3. More music variety. Cross My Mind, Arizona, here on Rose City FM 89.3. It's 22 minutes past 12. And Ned, we've got a mate.
Yeah, we do have a mate.
Who was really bad at puns. Anyway, we brought this up like a year ago in our 13th show that we did.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a bit of a grab of that, just to explain what's going on here.
Take a listen.
Now, Ned, I've got a bit of a story from during my week. I was on the bus. It's sort of about some bad puns.
I do like a good bad pun every now and then.
But here's the problem. They're bad puns.
Bad puns. Okay.
Yeah, so they're not even well thought out. So this guy that I was on the bus with, he goes, I like puns about guitar players and in particular guitar picks. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And he goes, what's a guitar player do when he drops his pick?
What does he do?
He picks it up. It's really disappointing. And I answered, does he start fretting about it? Because that's a guitar thing.
Yeah, that is a guitar thing.
And I was really proud of myself, and I was expecting something a little bit greater than that coming through.
But you thought of that on the spot?
Yeah, I felt proud.
So was there anything else?
Yeah, there was another one. He goes, what's a guitar player do when he stops playing a song and he needs to find another one?
Does he fret about it?
No, I said does he rest? Because that's also another musical.
It's a musical thing as well.
Yeah, but he said, oh no, he has to pick another one. Extremely disappointing.
Yeah, it's the same punchline, just for 2 jokes.
I really paint myself as the good guy there, don't I?
My laugh also sounds a lot faker back then than it does nowadays. I hope I've improved a bit on that front.
You just stop and go, ha, 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 ha. No, but so this guy, he had a birthday.
Sorry.
Oh, well done.
I
don't think you did that back.
Sorry, I'll try and listen while I cough.
I've turned your mic off just for a bit.
Okay.
You done?
Yeah.
All right, nice. Okay. So this guy, he's had a birthday pretty recently. We couldn't make it. You're in 1770.
I was in 1770
and
at that point,
I was going to be working. So I decided to get him a gift. I got him a customized guitar pick. On one side, it was question, what does a guitar player do when he drops his pick? And then on the other side, it was he picks it up. And then I had his name on it as the Pick Punk King, and then his name, which we're not saying. Yeah. I brought it to him yesterday, and he looks at it, and he reads it, and he goes, I know this one. He's trying to think about what the answer was. And I was like, I wonder why that is. He turns it around and looks at it, sees his name on it, and he goes,
wait a minute.
and then
this is one of my ones.
No, he squints, tilts his head and looks at me and says, did you customize this? Yes, I did.
This is Ned and Pierce.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ned and Pierce's Odd News from around the globe. Tonight, a Florida interstate had to be closed for 3 hours after 100 homing pigeons fell from a truck and were unable to find their way home. This act, of course, called into question the company responsible for a homing pigeon unable to find its way home is really just a regular pigeon. So I think whoever were being sent these pigeons are getting a bit of a foul deal.
I'd actually like to know how carrier pigeons work, or homing pigeons. I would like to know that.
I have no idea.
A fisherman has managed to catch himself a suction cup fish, which is exactly how it sounds, a fish that has the ability to just like stick itself to a wall if you press it up against it, and you can stick it for quote unquote quite some time. I have no idea what practical purpose a sticky fish has, and I'm pretty sure the sticky fish has no idea what it's going to do with sticking itself to walls.
But at least now there's one available if you ever do need a sticky fish. So a man in Iowa threatened to blow up a McDonald's store and punch an employee after discovering that this store had forgotten the sauce to his McNuggets. The threat blew up in his face when he was arrested and charged for 1 count of falsely reporting an explosive device. Sounds like a man with a bit of an explosive personality as well.
You have no idea how many times they probably forgot his sauce. A British Army parachutist has crashed into the roof of a Californian home. The report says that locals were shocked to find the parachutist who had hurtled through the sky before crashing through the home after he experienced issues while in free fall on a training course. Now, he must have been experiencing some pretty major issues considering he's a British Army parachutist crashing into a Californian home. So
he was completely in the wrong airspace there. And a California woman has won a lawsuit over her Flintstones-inspired house after the local property rights organisation attempted to get it removed for being quote-unquote an eyesore. The town of Hillsborough attempted to sue Florence Fang, who sued back in defence. Fred Flintstone, however, was unavailable for comment. Is that all, Pierce?
Yeah, we've done 3 each.
Yeah, I didn't realise. All right, well, I guess that's it for tonight's episode of Ned and Pierce's Odd News from around the globe. Coming up next, it's Avicii with You Be Love right here on Rose City FM 89.3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the hottest radio game show. I'm your host, Pierce. Now, my buddy Ned has a very messy room, so I want to know, does he actually have any idea of what's in there? Probably not. The rules are simple. I take one item from Ned's room, and with the occasional hint from me, Ned gets 3 guesses to figure out what that item is, and if he doesn't, well, it's mine. So without further ado, it's time to find out what did Pierce steal from Ned's room?
That's right, it is the game show that allows me to rummage around Ned's room, take something, and depending on if Ned can guess what it is, I may get to keep it.
But you love that, don't you, Pierce?
I love it. I enjoy taking everything home.
Being so jealous of all my cool stuff that you've created a whole segment to steal it from me.
I mean, take what you want from it. I just wanted to make a cool segment.
Yeah.
I haven't found something that I really want yet. One day I will.
Okay. Well,
you should leave cash on your shelf next time.
I guess let's go ahead with it.
First hint. This item is yellow.
It's yellow.
Yeah.
All right. I got to try and I was on holidays for a while after the holidays, which have already mentioned.
Yeah,
I was off at the
quite a
beach.
lot, actually.
So I didn't look at my shelf that much. So I've got to try and
You're only
scan.
away for a week.
What?
You were only away for a week.
Yeah, then
you had 2 weeks to look at your shelf.
That's a lot of time to
Not be looking at your shelf.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So I gotta really rack my brains for yellow items. I know I have a yellow cooking thing mitten on my shelf, and there's a story behind it. I don't just have it there. It's because I got it from my host family.
Oh, yeah. In Italy.
Up in Italy, yeah. Is it a yellow Italian cooking mitt, Pierce?
It's not, sir.
Damn it.
All right, so for your second hint, like all things, well, not all things, but there's been a spree of things that have a connection to space. This thing actually does, if you think about it.
Does have a connection to space somehow. It's a yellow item. All right. So, I don't have a lot of space-connected items. Space was never a big thing to me as a kid. I know a lot of people really wanted to be astronauts when they were kids. I was not one of them.
But this is something you got to think about. You got to think about its connection. Like
Oh, you know I don't like to think about things too hard, Pierce. Can I have another hint?
All right.
Please?
Your last one is that they generally come in a pair, so it's like a pair.
They generally come in a pair connected to space. So when you say they generally come in a pair, this one isn't in a pair.
This is in a pair. This particular one, yeah.
This is in a pair. It's connected to space, and it's yellow. Well, I'm going to be honest, Pierce, you've got me stumped. I have no clue what this could be.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have stolen Ned's Pringle sunglasses.
Okay, Pierce,
that is a success for me.
A quick word of protest for this one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the space thing comes from.
The sunglasses were invented for space. They put it in the visors for astronauts.
How was I supposed to know that, Pierce?
You're a clever guy. You do like science stuff.
We don't learn about...
I don't do science. You should know that more than me.
We don't learn about astronaut space helmets in chemistry, Pierce. We learn about mixing things together and making cool explosions.
Not only have you lost something, well, I guess you've been able to learn something as well.
Those were even from Italy as well. I was on the right track with the oven mitt.
What a shame. Ned's odd occurrence coming up in the next half hour. This has been What Did Pierce Steal from Ned's Room?
This is Ned and Pierce.
That was scary.
Ned's odd occurrences from around the world.
I smell a mystery.
It's a mystery. Welcome back to Ned's Odd Occurrences from around the globe. It's good to be back, Pierce.
It's great to be back.
It's been a whole month.
Happy to have the bejesus scared out of me.
Well, this one isn't really a bejesus scaring mystery, but it is a mystery nonetheless.
Spine tingling?
Yeah.
We'll settle for that.
We'll settle for spine tingling because today we look at the strange disappearance of Joseph Crater. Joseph Crater was born on January 5th, 1889 in Pennsylvania. He was a hard worker, achieving high enough grades to attend Lafayette College to study law. He married Stella Wheeler in 1917. He worked as a teacher and law clerk for a while before getting a job under Supreme Court Justice Robert Wagner.
It can't have been that difficult to become a lawyer back in 1880s. Like, they had laws about how many potatoes you were allowed to have in a cart back then.
Yeah, well, he was listed as a very hard worker, and funnily enough, he was listed as a dapper dresser, so he had a nicely outfitted wardrobe. But on with the story. In April 1930, Crater was appointed to the New York Supreme Court. On August 2nd... Oh, hold on, wait. I'm sorry, I've lost my place in the...
Oh, no, and you were...
On the thing. I was so confident of this one. I think I've typed it out. I've typed it out wrong.
Oh, no.
Looks like we're going slightly off the cuff for a little bit. With his money from working as the Supreme Court Justice, he was able to purchase an apartment on Fifth Avenue, a very sought-after real estate spot, and a holiday house at the Belgrave Lakes. On August 2nd, 1930, Crater and his wife arrived there at their holiday home. While on holiday, he reportedly took several phone calls that deeply angered him. The next day, Crater left the holiday home for business reasons, but promised his wife he'd be back by August 9th. Crater spent the next few days in his New York apartment, making regular trips to his office. On August 6th, he instructed his secretary to withdraw $5,150 from his bank account, which would be more than $80,000 today. He then returned to his apartment and dismissed his maid, telling her he was going swimming, an activity which he apparently did not even enjoy. That evening, he visited a friend who organised for him to see a show later in the night. He then walked to a nearby restaurant and dined with attorney William Klein. Around 9:15, they left the restaurant. Crater got into a taxi to attend his show.
At the moment, it sounds like he's just describing someone's casual working day.
Hold on. I'll start again because this is the big kicker.
Okay.
Around 9:15, they left the restaurant. Crater got into a taxi to attend his show.
A taxi.
And was never seen again.
Oh, okay.
So he got into his taxi and vanished.
Yep.
So yeah, it was pretty much a normal working day for him up until
that
fateful taxi ride. Yes, and the phone calls that made him angry were an important thing to note because he was angry about something. What was it? Well, interestingly, it took a month to report Crater's disappearance, as everyone assumed he was either at his holiday home
or still swimming
or at work. So basically, his wife at his holiday home assumed he was at work, and the people at work assumed he was on
at the holiday home.
So it took a long time to report him as missing. In January 1930, a grand jury reached a decision on Crater's disappearance that they had absolutely no clue what had happened to him. And this is what they came up with in the end. They called up over 100 witnesses. They presented all this evidence, and they, at the end, decided they had no idea what happened to him.
How about the taxi driver? Did they try to get him?
I don't know, actually. There wasn't record. Well, there probably is a record somewhere, but it's probably buried deeply under.
Feels like they missed like a vital clue.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a bunch of different stories from different witnesses and all that. But interestingly, Crater was involved with Tammany Hall, a government institution being exposed for corruption, and it's possible that Crater was going to expose some of the leading figures in the hall, painting a big target on his back. Yeah, and some people, apparently the mob was involved with Tammany Hall, so it's possible that there was some kind of foul play.
That would explain the 80 grand that he took out,
He took out 80 grand, but if he was going to expose them, I have no clue why he would have taken out $80,000.
To get out of town after exposing them.
Yeah, some people think that he just ran away as well. That's one of the leading theories.
That's getting out of town.
Yeah, getting out of town. He took the 80 grand out and he ran away because people were going to kill him.
Well, it's like in Breaking Bad. You had that guy that, did all their fake IDs and stuff, and you could just create a new life. Yeah. Maybe he did that. Maybe he pulled a Jesse.
He just ran away and never came back. Lived out his life in some small ranch out in the American Midwest.
Wife.
Yeah, ditched her. He left her at the holiday house. What's even worse was he promised to get back by August 9th, which was her birthday, but he never came back because he disappeared before that. But in the end, it's impossible to know what happened to Joseph Crater. Was he whacked for knowing too much of what the wrong people were up to? We may never know, and unless someone comes out with a new piece of evidence, we never will.
This is Ned and Pierce. Radio like you've never heard it before. In fact, this is worse than you've ever heard it before. This is Ned and Pierce.
Ned, you talked to me in the car coming up, and you're like, you want to talk about our holidays?
Holiday stories.
It seems like you really just want to brag about going to 1770.
Well, I went to the beach, Pierce, but we'll swap story for story. Do you have any interesting stories from staying here home alone?
Well, I experimented. All right,
experimented
with my cooking.
Well, that's what holidays are for.
Yeah, I experimented with my cooking. I was playing around with all the different settings on the microwave.
Yeah, of course.
Like, unfreeze.
Unfreeze.
That was a pretty cool one that I discovered. That way I can unfreeze my frozen noodles.
Well, as I mentioned several times, because it was pretty cool, I went to a nice little holiday town called 1770 up on the beach. It's about midway, or not even midway, slightly less than midway up the Queensland coast.
Yeah.
So it's right where the Great Barrier Reef is.
Yeah, of course.
And on the first Wednesday of the holidays, my family and I, we went out on a boat to see the Great Barrier Reef. And the Great Barrier Reef is something I'd recommend everyone goes to see in their lifetime. It's really cool.
Yeah.
If you want to see the really cool, colourful corals, you have to go slightly further north.
Yeah.
But where we went was really something special because because the corals, they weren't necessarily super colourful because they had this whole scientific reason for it's like a temperature. No, it wasn't actually pollution. It's something to do with the temperature they grow in.
Yeah.
But they made these massive towers in the middle of the ocean, and they had these big kind of valleys through them, which you could basically just swim through. And everywhere around you, there was all these hundreds of species of fish around. And I mentioned I did swim with several sea turtles, and I got close enough that I could have kissed one. And this is something that Pierce has held against me since I came back, that I didn't kiss the turtle.
Well, I mean, it would have been a pretty cool thing to come back.
Cool
it's not great to come back and say, I almost kissed a turtle.
Yeah, but I could have kissed a turtle. I was close. I was that close to it. I was a bit put off by its big hooked beak because they do have these big beaks, and I didn't want it to claw my face off.
Of course not. But I was just slightly confused as well. It was just such a strange detail that you were kept on telling people is that you could have kissed a turtle.
I could. The ride out there was really something as well because the sea was really choppy, and I swear it was about an hour and 15 minutes or so ride.
Did you get sick?
I did not get sick.
Go on, be serious.
No, I didn't get sick. A lot of people did though on our boat, and the boat. I swear, at some points it would get air off the waves into.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was
How
so
big was the
choppy.
boat?
It was a relatively large size catamaran. It had a I forgot how many people there were. There was I think there was 100 and something people who came out with us.
100 and something people gaining air in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, no, it was a decent sized boat, and they had it was how you see in the movies where they're on boats and it's really choppy and things are sliding along the benches.
Oh yeah,
it was genuinely like that. I went down to the cabin to grab some food, and they were having problems with keeping because they had these big fruit platters.
Yeah.
And they were having problems because they were kept sliding along in the fridge, and they had several of them spill.
Well, for me, like I told you, I had the frightening realization that I'm not going to have a good time when I move out of home.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff that I can't do. The washing basket.
Yeah, you mentioned this.
I just went through my clothes, and by the end of the week, when my parents came back, there was just this big pile of washing, and I ended up having to, do odd socks and all sorts of things.
Yeah, you need about. I just want to bring this up. You need about 3 buttons on the washing machine to use it.
That's 3 buttons too many for me, my friend.
But yes, one day we'll teach you how to use a washing machine.
I would appreciate that.
Another story from my holidays.
Yeah.
Was I found a really nice gelato shop, which was a nice little
lovely.
gem.
Yeah,
it was a lovely
especially
little gem to find on the beach.
World Peach Ice Cream Day,
It is World Peach Ice Cream Day. I don't think they had peach ice cream. But
they might have had peach gelato.
They might have had peach flavored something, but they definitely had a wide range of these brilliant flavors. Now, I'm a big ice cream guy, so I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on this story. They had all these amazing flavors. They had blood orange, mango, and they didn't have that artificial taste to them. You taste it.
Yeah.
And the mango one, you know how you eat mango ice cream, it usually tastes kind of artificial, made up in a lab. This one tasted like you were just biting into a straight mango. That was really good.
Did they have chocolate ice cream?
They did have chocolate ice cream as well.
I know that when we went to Italy, there was a lot of gelato shops, and you got up me by the end of the our trip because I was eating only chocolate gelato.
Well, you gotta
stick to what you know.
No, you got to put yourself out there, Pierce. You got to try the other flavors.
Well, imagine spending some money on something that you're not going to like.
Some places there was licorice gelato, and I never saw a place to buy.
Yeah, but I know I like chocolate.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, but
I don't know that I like licorice ice cream.
Well, you don't. You never had it.
Yeah,
you don't know whether you did.
Well, I'm not gonna spend money on a gamble or a gamble that high.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end my holiday stories there.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
sure.
we could go on for hours.
Hey, just one more thing. I took on some responsibilities. Took the bins out at the start of the week, and then just took all the rubbish out there. So when the rubbish, because I don't know when the rubbish man comes,
life hack.
Just left it there.
It's genius.
This is Ned and Pierce.
Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of our show.
Yes, of course. We are now officially radio DJs.
We are. We've officially used the disc player now.
It sounds pretty bad to a lot of people out there, but we've never used this throughout like a year and a half that we've been doing radio.
Yep, never touched the disc player. So that's great that we've finally got that experience under our belts.
Official radio disc jockeys. Feels great.
Yeah, what did Pierce steal from Ned's room? You stole my pair of Pringles sunglasses through a cheap little trick, I must add, the space.
You should have known that.
Should have known the space.
You're a science guy, so it should be that should have come to you.
Yeah, well, enjoy them, Pierce.
I will.
And, of course, we looked over the disappearance of Joseph Crater, one of the... He was described, actually, at the time as the most missingest man. So we can now say we looked at the case of, well, the biggest disappearance in history.
And he remains missing.
He remains missing to this day. But I guess that's it from us, Warwick. You'll see us in a fortnight. Looks like Peter's set up in the next studio. He'll be taking you through to 6.